Testing, 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Welcome back to Family Quest server. My name is HistoryWes, and I'm down in my base this morning, finishing off one of our floors. Literally one of our floors. And then putting some lighting in. Let's go down stairs to our storage area. And pick up some wood. If you have not seen me before or Family Quest server, the Family Quest server is a private server. We're actually hosted on Minecraft Realms. It is a server that my children and I play on. My children, who are all adults. So I am a quite old Minecraft player. I'm old enough to be a grandpa, as a matter of fact. All right. So, very frustratingly, I had done this floor and almost got to this point before, and I got kicked from Minecraft Realms, and I came back, and like the last 20 minutes that I had been online had disappeared, and so I had to redo this floor twice. Which is much more frustrating than, you know, having something you built blown up by a creeper or something, because that's part of the game. But a server glitch is not. At least that's how I feel about it. If you are watching this later, today is July 12th. It is 12 o'clock noon Pacific time, which is where I am. I live in the American Southwest, where currently the temperature is 104. So, another good reason to stay in and play Minecraft. Sadly, I purchased a well, not sadly, but I purchased a bike recently, an electric bike, and I'd like to be out riding it more, even in the heat. Well, without the heat, I would be like to be riding it more. So I have been limited to riding it in the late evening when it is much cooler. But here, even in the late evening, even at, we went riding at 8 o'clock last night, my wife and I, and it was still 100 degrees after dark. So I came back, and my head inside my helmet, because I always wear a helmet, was just soaked. You can see I already had a stone floor. This is the same floor that is the ceiling to the lower level. And I don't even remember why I decided to put the wood in here. I just decided to fancy it up a little bit. I'm not sure what this level is going to be. We have about 5 or 6 levels devoted to automatic storage. We've got a couple of levels which have mines on them. And kind of our main work area. There's a level that has our super smelter and some farms. I have some farms here in the base, but most of them are in the industrial area, which is not too far away, just across the river on an island. But far enough that they're out of functional range. My iron farm is above ground here, directly above us basically, which is kind of a bad idea because it runs all the time, and I'm always threatening to end up overrun with iron. Doesn't sound like much of a problem to most people, I'm sure. But it does allow me to make lots and lots of lanterns. Which are one of the best looking additions to Minecraft. I don't remember which update those came in, but I'm thinking Buzzy Bees, maybe? Or was it Village and Pillage? This world that we're playing on, Family Quest World, started the day that Village and Pillage came out. That was an exciting day with all 4 of us jumping on the server and trying to secure a place. And they hadn't tweaked the pillaging function quite yet, and so we were getting pillagers about every 3 or 4 minutes. I got killed so many times that day. It was fun though. So I just watched Exuma's video, Exuma Void's video about where Minecraft is today and where it should go in the future. And it's pretty good. One of the things he was talking about was the fact that to him at least, archaeology seemed like a boring aspect of the game. And once you get all the goodies, you're not going to want to do it anymore, which is true, unless they add some new structures or something, some new archaeological sites, which would be cool if they did. But I have always thought, when I first heard archaeology, I thought this is a very un-Minecrafty idea, because the whole kind of point of Minecraft is that you are looking out at the world. You're exploring this world and figuring out the big questions of the world. And archaeology is very focused in on a tiny little spot. What does this site tell you? And the actual field work of archaeology in real life is really pretty boring. I mean, when you find something, it's amazing. When you're just doing the digging and preparing, it's just a lot of work. And you know, there's enough grindy stuff in Minecraft already. I am not a professional archaeologist, so I don't speak with a huge amount of experience. I have, however, taken archaeology classes in college. I do have a minor in anthropology, so I was able to experience some bits of it firsthand. I think archaeology would be cool. One of the things I do want to do is dig up one of the trail ruins and dig one up and leave it as it is, preserved, dig up all around it. Then I want to dig one up and rebuild it as I think it should have been. A lot of people have been doing that, but they seem to be missing a major thing that I think, and that is the trail ruins are collapsed and covered over with debris and dirt. So you're not necessarily just going to be able to add a few blocks onto the top and get what they would have looked like in real life. You know, they've been flattened. Archaeologists in real life just, you know, you don't dig up a little ring of stones and say, oh, these ancient people lived in a tiny ring of stones. You've got to figure out that a major portion of that has been crushed down and flattened. In reality, the trail ruins probably should not be as complete as they are, but they are smashed somewhat. So, and also you could figure that there were probably lots of little flourishes and add-ons that might have been made of wood that would have worn away over time, just leaving the stone structure and foundation. We need just a few more pieces of wood, and we need 4 glass blocks. Take over where our beacons are. There we go. Glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need some already chopped. Yeah, some jungle and some spruce. Might do a little digging over this way. Definitely will eventually, but I mean, might do it today, might not. So we have, I was also watching Weefy's video that came out this morning about Minecraft lore. I always enjoy those types of videos. I watch Retro Gaming Now and The Game Theorist, and a lot of stuff I like that they do and would agree with, and some stuff misses the mark. And, you know, They're just doing it for entertainment value, as of course everybody does. But because they're doing it for entertainment value, sometimes they just ignore the parts that don't agree with their theories. They're not really great theorists as theorists go. Always fun though. We have our own lore for this world. We're not like a lore heavy. We don't do a lot of play acting out. Every once in a while we create a little setup and scene, like when the Nether update came out. We did a little thing about how the Endermen were changing the Nether as part of some great plot, and we kind of acted that out. But that's not something we do. But we do have an overarching lore, and that is that we are 4 demigods who were transported to this world and have kind of taken it over, which kind of fits with our game. We are on varying degrees. I play Minecraft every day, and this world is my go-to main world. Sometimes I create a new world and I play on it for a while. Sometimes I do have another world that I designed to be a forever world, but this is my forever world, really. So I'm on here every day, just about. My son is on quite a bit, not as much as I am. He's discovered, like you do when you grow up and become a married man, that you don't have 24/7 time to play your favorite games. And then my daughter is on a little less often. She is still a big gamer and plays online with a lot of her friends, but has moved on to other games and occasionally comes back to Minecraft and plays with me here on this server. And my children are both grown up. I mean, they are both in their 30s now. So, and then the 4th member of our group is my daughter-in-law, my son's wife, and she plays the least of all, and she usually plays when she can collaborate with my son on something, which is great. If you are a serious game person, I recommend, when you get married, marry somebody that also likes to play. Not that that will stay that way forever. People change over time. Okay, so now we're adding our lanterns to the ceiling. I love lanterns. I also love chains, although I'm not using them in this particular room. I built a great nether hub on the greenhouse SMP. Season 2, I believe it was. Was that season 1? It was season 2. Anyway, and it was a room that had solar lanterns hanging from the ceiling, and they were at random lengths. I used a die to roll the different lengths, so they were between 1 and 6, and it came out looking so good. Okay. Wow, that was fast. So there seem to be two groups of people: the pro scaffolding people and the anti-scaffolding people who prefer using dirt or whatever. I honestly probably don't use scaffolding as much as I thought I would, maybe, but I use it fairly often. I think now that more people are going to be using bamboo in general, I think people will start using more scaffolding too, I guess. Okay. There. Right here. That floor looks pretty trippy from up here. So this is about the 4th base that I built on this world. Like I said before, it's about 4 years old. We've been playing since the Village and Pillage came out that very day. And this is about the 4th base that I've had. Each one has gotten progressively larger. And I started this one a year and a half ago in November. What would that be? November 2021? And the idea was that I would be finished building it by November 2023. So we'll see. It's getting close. I've not built as much as I feel like I should have. I love playing Minecraft, and I love building things, but I will be the first to admit that I'm not a great builder or designer, or even a good one, or even a mediocre one. Pretty bad, but I am a good copier. So I see a lot of stuff online and copy it. I see things that I like in movies, and I do my best to copy them. So, you know, that's a skill. What is funny is that I have about 1 million nieces and nephews who play Minecraft, and I haven't played all of them because I'm playing on Java version and they all play on consoles. I would love it if they made a cross-play feature so that you can play with Java and Bedrock on the same server, and I imagine that's not possible. I would also love it if they made a Bedrock version of Minecraft for the Mac. I really don't understand why they haven't. I mean, they made it for Apple TV, for crying out loud. They discontinued it, but they made it. And I can't believe that there aren't a lot of Mac people that play Minecraft. I've played Bedrock. I like it just fine. I did play it on. You can play it on the Mac if you use a Windows emulator, which I had for a while, and I had it because I was using it for work, for converting files, and so I also used it to play Bedrock Minecraft. I even played Minecraft Dungeons, although it was very, very choppy. But yeah, they definitely need a Mac Bedrock version. I mean, I can't believe they're not just basically leaving money sitting there, because everyone knows Apple owners tend to spend more for their stuff, and Bedrock has the Minecraft store. And of course, my little nieces and nephews don't realize that there's two different versions of Minecraft, and so it's hard to explain. No, you can't play on this world with us. So there is a version of Minecraft for iPad, a Bedrock version of Minecraft for iPad. And I could set up a server on it using it. I cannot play the touchscreen version, but I've got mine set up so that I can play with a mouse and keyboard. Finally, yeah, finally enabled that. And supposedly, iPad software should be compatible with the newest Macs, the ones on the Apple Silicon. So, you know, there is hope that we could do that. Still, I'd rather do it on my Mac. Even after I got an Apple Silicon Mac, I would rather have a full-scale dedicated Bedrock version. Apple adds more and more features to their iPad apps all the time, making them very capable. And I have an iPad Pro, so I could easily do that, but I just feel more comfortable, for the most part, doing work on my computer. Perhaps that is a function of my age, but That's what it is. That's what it is. What I'm playing on right now is an iMac, 2019 iMac. It's got a Intel Core i5 processor, 10th generation, and I have 60, wait, how much memory do I have? That I can see right here. Yep. No, I've got 40. I've got the original 8 that was in the iMac, and I've got 32 installed. So I've got 40 gigs of memory. I have AMD Radeon Pro 580X with its own dedicated 8 gigabytes of RAM. So I know there are a lot bigger and faster video cards, but this one works pretty good. Of course, what people often will tell us is that Macs are not designed for gaming, and that if you're a gamer, you should have a PC, which is mostly true. But I'm not strictly a gamer. I do mostly work on my Mac. Minecraft is really the only game that I regularly play. It works great. The Java version on Mac, well, like I said, I'd like to see a Bedrock version. And the work that I do on my Mac has to do with me being an author, and I'm very protective of my work, and I enjoy the stability of the Mac. I'm actually a latecomer to Mac gaming, really. I was well into my 50s before I bought my first Mac. I'd used PCs all my life up until that point. And I just got sick of, every time there was a new update to Windows, or every time I needed to add a new piece of hardware, I just got sick of the problems with adding it or with the blue screens. Since I switched to Windows in 2012, I've had very, very few problems with crashes. The current computer I'm playing with now, the one I got in 2019, at the end of 2019, has never crashed, ever. I've had programs that have crashed that I had to force quit out of, but the computer has never crashed. The Mac that I had before this, which was, I believe, a 2012 Mac, the first Mac that I bought, it did have a serious crash one time. The hard drive got fried. I went to the Apple Store. I carried it into the Apple Store, and they fixed it for free. And I went back home, and I reinstalled my backup, and everything was good. In case you're not familiar, Macs have a piece of software that comes as part of the operating system, a backup software. and you just plug in an external drive and the Mac backs itself up every hour, and you can just go back to whenever you want to. Like, say I erase one of my Minecraft worlds today, and then I decide tomorrow that I want it back, I can just go back to the day before yesterday or to earlier or whenever and pull it right out of the backup. It's called Time Machine, and it will just plop it back where it was, and it will work perfectly. And because I'm very concerned about my writing as an author, I have 2 external backups that alternate. Every hour, one of them backs up. I have those, and I have that backs up everything that I have. And I have a I also make use of Microsoft's OneDrive just for my writing. So I've got a second backup in the cloud of it. So I've got lots of backups of my writing. I've lost some writing before, and that is no fun. In fact, my most popular book, when I was writing it, something happened, and I was still on a PC at that time. I don't remember the details of the event, but I ended up losing about a chapter and a half, having to rewrite it from memory, and so, as you can imagine, if it's something that very personal to you, like you have a writing or music or something else, or if you're a YouTube creator, your YouTube video, then losing that, you can imagine how upsetting that would be. In case you're interested, I want a quick look at my writing. I have another YouTube channel called Author Wesley Allison with a few videos on there discussing my books, a few chapter readings, things like that. Or you can find any of the books at any place that sells ebooks, like Apple Books, BarnesandNoble.com, Kobo Books, or Amazon. Just look for my name, Wesley Allison. And most of the books are also available in paperback at Amazon. Hello, Mom Crafter. I am just sprucing up a room here. Started out putting in the floor a mosaic of wood, and now I'm putting lanterns in the ceiling. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with this room, but it's just part of my underground portion of my base. I'm supposed to be done with this base in November, so I've got to actually hurry up. As I was mentioning before, I had started in November of 2021, and it was supposed to be done in 2 years, or that was my goal anyway. I guess nobody cares if I don't get it done. Are you working today? I was just listening to the news, and one of the announcements that they made was less than a month until school starts, and it made me feel so giddy because for the first time in 30 years I don't have to get ready to go back to school, having just retired as a teacher. Oh, congratulations, you're on vacation. Good for you. I hope you have something fun planned. I just had a little vacation. A couple of weeks ago, my wife and I just went down for a 4-day weekend to the town of Flagstaff, Arizona, and just basically kind of hung out and enjoyed it being cool. But we went to like oh, I can't think of the name of it now, but they have a famous observatory there on the mountain where they discovered the planet Pluto, and or the dwarf planet Pluto, whichever you prefer, I guess. I'm on Team Pluto, so planet Pluto. But we went there and we got to look through the telescope and stuff like that, which was fun. I can tell you being retired is not all it's cracked up to be, but that would be a lie. Being retired is great. It's great for me. It's not that great for my wife because she's been enjoying only having to work occasionally, but now she has to go find a job to support me because I'm old enough to retire, but I'm not old enough to have Medicare yet. So she has to support me by getting a job that has insurance until we're both old enough to get Medicare, which will be longer for her because she's younger than I am. Yep, if you've ever go to northern Arizona, I highly recommend Flagstaff. Beautiful. It's one of these cities that you can't see all of it at once because it's covered by pine trees and interesting mountains and stuff. Nice and cool too. I've got to make some more lanterns. And I think I'm in the wrong level. I am. Ooh, yeah. I bet Washington is miserable this time of year, both the heat and humidity. We were out bicycling last night, and at like 8 o'clock as the sun was going down, or just after dark, and it was like 100 degrees or 101, but at least the humidity was only about 4%. All right. This is my room for chest full of all the things that are non-stackable. Most of them are empty. Like ancient, oh, there is some ancient debris in there. Non-stackable or stack in with like oddly short, small stacks like armor stands. Well, that's nice. Yeah, get out to those museums, enjoy the pool. Yeah, I've never been to Washington, D.C. I've always wanted to go, and I plan to now that I'm retired at some point. Oops. Rooftop swimming pool. Sounds great. Everybody should be swimming in a swimming pool, considering all the people that have been getting bitten by sharks in the ocean lately. Grumpy teenagers. I think grumpy teenagers is redundant. They're all grumpy. Aren't they not enjoying the museums? When I was a teenager, I would have killed to go to the Smithsonian. You're probably too young to remember, but there used to be, well, actually, I think they're still maybe around somewhere. They're just not very popular anymore. There used to be Viewmasters. They had these little round slideshow things that you put in, and you could look through the viewer and see the stuff. And I would look at the Smithsonian in Viewmaster and think, I really wanted to go there. I had one for the Smithsonian and some for the Houston and Kennedy Space Centers. And those were like my big goals, to go to those three places. I did eventually go to the Houston Space Center, which was awesome. And I think I still have all those Viewmaster reels somewhere. You're not too old to remember? Yeah. Those were around for a long time. I mean, they were around before I was born, so, and then they were still popular when I was in my 20s. I remember working in Kmart. They used to have them. I guess they're kind of an outgrowth of, they used to have, like a really long time ago, like in the 20s, I think, they had stereo viewers that just had a single picture, but there were two copies of it, and you put it in there and it made it look 3D. I think those were kind of an outgrowth of that. Speaking of museums, this floor would, this room would make a good museum. I keep thinking that I want to build one for this world. and I've got re-inspired by watching the dueling museums on hermitcraft. So maybe I'll put a museum on this floor. Oh yeah, they used to have storybook ones too. They had a lot of them with cartoons. I had one with an episode of the original Star Trek on it. And I remember seeing a really old one of Tom and Jerry, like made in the 40s, but I really liked the ones that showed different places. I was probably a nerd when I was a kid. Well, I was definitely a nerd. I was probably a weird kid. I think I rubbed off on my kids. My kids still like to go places with me, so still want to hang around. Maybe I just got lucky. I always think that I have some like great gift for child rearing that ends up not being the case. For instance, I used to see kids whining to their parents in the store to buy them something, and I was always extremely proud that my kids never ever did that. When they asked for something and I said no, that was it. They would just acquiesce. They would just not complain. They'd just shut up and be fine with it. And one day I was mentioning that to my grown-up kids, and I said, "You guys never complained when I didn't buy you something at the store." And they're like, "Dad, that's because you almost always bought it the first time." So there you go. I was just a pushover instead of being a great parent. Oh, I cannot. I cannot imagine DC not being fun. I mean, other than the temperature. I grew up in Oklahoma, which in the summer is like 90 degrees and 99% humidity. And when I went back as an adult and visited a family there, I would just melt. And I would be sitting out on the porch in just my shorts, just literally melting. And all my relatives would look at me and say, "What? You live in the desert?" But it's not the same. Why is there a notch in the wall here? This wall is not completed. Good grief. So, what have you seen while you're there in DC? Do they still have like a tour the White House, or has that all gone away with COVID and terrorism? Excuse me. Oh, the Air and Space Museum. I would have given anything to see the Air and Space Museum. In fact, my kids and my wife went and saw the Air and Space Museum that they have in San Diego just a couple of years ago, which is, like, I'm sure nowhere near as impressive as the Air and Space Museum that's associated with the Smithsonian there in Washington. But yeah, we had a great time. I would go just for the spacecraft. Oh, half of it was closed off. Even so, when I was a kid, I was right in the midst of the space race. I was a huge space nerd and could name every astronaut and knew every mission. I could still name a lot of them, I'll bet. Knew all of the space facts, like the fact that there were 24 astronauts that flew to the moon. 12 of them flew twice. 12 of them got out and walked on it. Yeah, that's why I enjoyed going to the Houston Space Center so much. Going into the flight control room. Yeah, when we went there to the Houston Space Center, we went into the control room that they were using when the Apollo 11 landed on the moon, first man on the moon, and they don't use it anymore because the computers are too old, and it was just cheaper to make a whole new room that they now use for space missions, and they can upgrade the computers in there because they're just like regular desktops and laptops now. Back in the 60s, they were giant machines. Fourth grade math class. Yeah, that was a horrible day. I was working at Kmart. As I mentioned before, I worked at Kmart. I was working at Kmart. I had not yet started work, and the in the break room, it was on the news on the TV there, and I was just miserable all day. And all day long on the radio, they played space songs like David Bowie, Major Tom. Yep. Yeah. When I was in Hawaii, I went to the Cemetery of the Pacific, and I went to Ellison Onizuka's grave, who was one of the 7 Challenger astronauts. Yeah. Yeah, astronaut's a very dangerous job. Sitting on top of a giant missile, basically. I would still go. I would still go. Especially now that I'm old. I mean, William Shatner flew into space, just barely got into space, but flew on the Jeff Bezos rocket. He was, I think, 80, so I wouldn't even be the oldest guy in space. Yeah, they were pretty tiny little spacecraft. And they were in those for about a week, or a little longer even. 2 days up and 2 days back, and then whatever time you spent on the moon. Apollo 17 was on the moon for 4 days, so that was an 8-day trip, probably 9 altogether. At least 2 of those guys got to walk out and be on the moon, but the one guy had to stay on the command module as it orbited, so he was there the whole 9 days. I don't remember the name of the astronaut who was in the command module on Apollo 17. That's the last moon flight, but I do remember the 2 astronauts on the moon, Gene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt. Harrison Schmitt later became a U.S. congressman. We need more astronaut congressmen and less whatever we got now. The other interesting thing about Apollo 17 is they sang a lot while they were walking on the moon, because they were on the moon longer than any other mission, 4 days. And they had the rover, and they drove all over the valley. And as they were working, they were singing. So if you go on Google and just type Harrison Schmitt singing or Apollo 17 singing, you can go to the Wikipedia pages, and they have some video and audio of them singing. Well, I screwed up. I'm going to have an extra blank spot on my ceiling. There's every other 2 blocks, and then there are 2 spaces instead of 1 in this last row, unless I move it over, which I guess I'm going to do. Yeah, what's funny is I put that row of lights up probably like a year ago, Yeah, well, wait till you hear their singing. They were pretty bad. Yep, the world has changed. Today, any schmo can get on YouTube and make a video of himself singing or hanging up lights in his Minecraft world. Let's see, I need to make more stacks of lanterns. Oh, there's coal. And iron is one floor up. Oh, see, here I had 2 spaces between each row. Seems to be plenty of light. There are also a bunch of hidden torches behind the chests, but and here's the ever-filling iron chest. Yeah, I pulled the iron out of this one before and just filled it right back up. Okay. Use a little bit more, maybe. I say again, lanterns are one of my favorite additions to Minecraft. Lanterns and chains. Okay, and this is the chest that goes down into the auto sorter. Toss that wood in there. It does make a kind of a cool little pattern as you're walking along. Okay. Can I reach these? Yep. Watch what you're doing. Not fall off. Whoops. Well, that's great. That's the problem with having efficiency 5 and a haste beacon right around you. I love the hanging signs too, and I have not used them as much as I plan to. Who was I just watching? Oh, Dallas Med 65, who was a Minecrafter that I watch. I'm fascinated because he has a very old world. He's on like episode 548 or something, and he started on playing Bedrock on an iPhone, and then expanded his game world so that now he's playing it on a computer. Anyway, he was just saying, put signs everywhere with dates of when you did stuff. And here we have a world that's 4 years old, but we haven't been doing that, which is too bad. I did build a 1-year anniversary monument, but I didn't put up anything for the 2nd or 3rd anniversary, which is a bummer. Here we go. And let's see. There. Right? Yep, 1 space. Yeah, the bookshelves are neat too. I think there are probably a couple of tweaks they could do to make them even better, like letting you see, differentiate books by looking at them maybe. They're definitely great. Okay. Okay, there's 1 space on that side. And there are going to be 2 spaces on this side. But I'm going to leave it because I don't want 1 row that's right up against the wall. That's a great idea, journaling everything. I remember reading this article like when I first started playing Minecraft, so about 2017, and this guy had created a script or program to run and on a Minecraft world file, and it would find just the text from all the signs in the world and create a file of just the text from the signs. And he ran it on all these multiplayer worlds that people had stopped using. And there were all these messages on signs from people like wondering where everybody was, and say this through this game server was the only contact they had with these people who they had become friends with. So it was so sad. It stuck with me. But yeah, just think if you found a world and or you started playing on a world and all this information was left for you that tells all about who built it and who lived there, and that's a really great idea. Okay, we need some black stone bricks to finish up this wall. And this is, I think, yep. Were those blackstone or deep slate? I don't remember. I'll grab some of both. I think they're deep slate. There we are. Yeah, deep slate. I got about a bazillion torches now. Okay. I may end up not having brought enough. Oops. Need enough for this and that. I'll throw some of these torches and lanterns into the sorting system. That stone and that black stone, don't need that. My plan was to start streaming on a regular basis, but we have been having terrible problems with internet. Our internet was cutting out, especially like between 12 and 4 in the afternoon, right about this time, and calling the cable company, and they said, oh, no, we don't have any outages. It has to be your router / modem setup. And so I thought, well, okay, maybe. We did have a guy come out and check the wiring. So I went ahead and rented a modem router from the cable company because they don't sell them. And getting one that's compatible is a pain. It was the last time I bought one. But then the first day, the exact same thing happened with the new modem. I will say it's happened less often, but it still is happening. Like yesterday, it was just off and on. I really think it has to do something with the heat and their connection outside, but you know, you call and tell them that, no, it can't be that. Well, they don't tell you it can't be that. They tell you they don't know, because when you call for customer support, you're talking to somebody in another country who has no idea about, or not necessarily from another country, but whoever they are, they only know what they've got in the book in front of them. If the customer says A, go here, say this to them. If then go here and do this. So they do the same things every time. Reset the modem, listen to your complaint. Oh, I know. We should go down and get one of those hanging signs we were talking about. Which is way down on 11. This is the newest level under construction of the sorting system warehouse. And you can see we've got all our places for bamboo, and our hanging signs, and our sniffer eggs and flowers, and also a place for shulker shells, because I never had a place for shulker shells. I always just made them into shulker boxes. Now I've got more than I ever need, so let's see, what color should we go with? We're using jungle and spruce. I bet I don't have any in any of the boxes. I know there's some. I made up like a stack of them to go in the sorter. So let's see, there's probably some in the filter here. Cherry. Yeah, I made like 5 of each. Here we go. Take one of these. Should have taken the elevator. Okay, here we go. So, I think if we take all the torches out, it will be bright enough. Still. Don't want any mobs spawning. And if I did want mobs spawning, they wouldn't spawn, because that's the way my luck goes. I built the world's most expensive and unproductive slime farm. I built this slime farm out of 8,000 blocks of light blue concrete and 8,000 blocks of deep slate tiles. And so far, in like the 3 months it's been completed, it has produced 2.5 stacks of slime balls. So almost nothing. Alright, let's see, 7, 8, 7, 8, 6. Oh yeah, it's light enough. Okay. So all that can go in. We'll take our hanging sign. This is an even number, so it's going to be off center figures. Okay, let's see. Future home of I have no space. Just museum. There we go. Is it Control Shift? Yeah. There we go. One more room finished. One more level finished. I haven't even finished the interior of the elevator. I was going to do all 4 sides with coral, but I've only got 1 side done. All right, let's. Oh, I should have grabbed some glass panes. That was my new cherry wood house I just built. It needs some finishing on the outside. I think it needs different colors of shutters. Trapdoors as shutters. And it needs windows. And it needs some other finishing touches. And we have all this area to build more houses and more buildings in. We're going to finish our 4 towers. Got to finish our stairs out front. Oh, here's the aforementioned slime farm. Doesn't look like much from up here. But if we go down here real quick. Take a look. There we go. Is that beautiful or what? It is beautiful. It is good looking. I love it. I love the look of it. Oh my gosh, slimes. Hallelujah. Go on, slime. Go for one of the. There are iron golems down there that they're supposed to attack. There you go. Look at it work. Just like it's supposed to. Huh. Let me go down here. Yeah, there's the slime balls. Okay, that one stack got picked up. See if we're going to see some others get picked up. There's just one minecart that goes around 3 times, I think. But it should come around in time before it despawns. There it goes. And there it goes into the thing. Holy cow, look at that. It's picked up a half of a stack of slime since I've been in here. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. It actually works. You guys okay? Nobody's injured at all? Oh, another. Oh, that one is probably, yeah, it fell off of the thing. It was on the concrete. Oh my gosh. What a happy day this is. The hundreds of hours I spent battling monsters and exploring all the caves on either side of this, and this side there's like a giant cavern that I lit up, and making all this concrete, and it's finally paid off with 33 slime balls. Oh, I'm so happy. The funny part is I hardly ever make any sticky pistons or use slime balls for any other purpose, and I already have like 4 or 5 double chests full because I have a perfectly good working slime farm somewhere else. Still, what a great day. I actually saw some slime spawn. They're not going to spawn any more for me, are you? Oh well. Well, that's about it for our stream today. Thanks, Mom Crafter, for visiting, keeping me company. I hope you enjoy the rest of your vacation in Washington, D.C. Have fun. Take plenty of pictures. And everybody else who stopped by, or anybody watching this after the fact, thank you. I am HistoryWes. This is the Family Quest server. Thanks for joining me. And as always, keep on Minecrafting.